Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review. Today we're going to be talking about Yankee Candle, Olive, and Cypress. Now, this is one of the candles that is part of the relatively new Hello Italy collection. I believe that they launched that collection back in January. And initially, I only purchased a couple of fragrances in their 3-wick formats. However, they did send me a small little like votive. It's not technically like the old school votives that they used to have, but it's like in like a small vessel. It was just a little single wick, almost like a Kringle Daylight, but it was in a little glass jar of this fragrance, Olive and Cypress. And this is one that initially I was actually intrigued by, but once I was able to sniff that small sample, I did decide that I wanted to go ahead and purchase it in a full size. Now, when I went back in and made a separate Yankee Candle order, they were still doing the buy two, get two promotion. I purchased this candle, I want to say around President's Day, Valentine's Day. So that would have been mid February. And the reason why I ended up going with this 2-wick format was because I had had a couple of the 3 wicks. And there was one candle in particular that I wanted that was only available in this 2-wick format, which was a repurchase of Easter Bouquet. So, in order to just make everything like completely even, I went ahead and bought all of the candles in the large 2-wick tumbler. So, this is, like I said, their large 2-wick tumbler. I believe that this retails for $34. I believe so. This is in their signature wax collection. So Yankee still offers this fragrance, I believe, in their single wick paraffin jar. That's more of like an apothecary style, but their signature wax is carried in this kind of more of like a tumbler style of vessel. We've got a beautiful label here. I really like the design aesthetic that they went with for this Hello Italy collection. All of the candles that I've purchased from that lineup, I do really like the packaging on it. Do I think that it's like totally unique and never been done? No, but does it match the vibe that they were going for with this collection? Yes, I do think that it is cohesive. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes of this candle. We have top notes of olive, pink peppercorn, and rosemary, mid notes of avocado, coriander, and fennel, and base notes of amber, moss, vetiver, and cypress. So, what does my nose smell, and who do I think that this candle would be geared for? To me, you guys, this fragrance is like the outdoor green fragrance that is being offered as part of this collection. So like we had like a lemon gelato scent. That was more for the people who love like a citrusy gourmand. They had the Capri Glow, which we've all know now, which I will get to my dedicated review on that probably within the next couple of weeks. But the Capri Glow, very, very summery, reminds a lot of people of the original Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream scent. I think it's called their 62 fragrance. They had Azure Sky, which I did purchase that. And honestly, it was more like fresh, kind of solar fresh, I would say, a little bit of that like salt air kind of cologne type of vibe. But this fragrance here is more so for people who like greener fragrances, but you don't necessarily want floral. I think that this is the fragrance out of the collection that is going to appeal to that crowd of people, I should say. My nose, personally, it's interesting. I actually grow rosemary in my background. So it's funny when they said rosemary was listed as one of the fragrance notes. I was like, I don't really smell rosemary because rosemary is definitely like a very herbaceous note. Nor do I really get like avocado, maybe a hint of fennel in the middle there because fennel does have a little bit of like maple syrup type of sweetness. But again, this fragrance isn't an overly sweet fragrance. The fragrance notes that I detect the most in this candle, I do smell that top note of olive. I do get some of that in there. It's like a green olive. And then the base notes that I smell, those are the things that I smell the most. I definitely get that blend of moss, vetiver, and cypress. It's very much like an earthy tree type of fragrance, not Christmas tree, not even really the tree notes that we would get in the fall. It definitely smells like trees that you would smell somewhat in the Mediterranean. Now, that is just me saying that off of my own how would I say this, off of like my own mental imagery. I have actually never been to Europe. I've never been to anywhere in the Mediterranean. However, I did grow up in California, and there are parts of California that do share similar climates to that does share a similar climate to areas in the Mediterranean. And I'm just thinking of a lot of the like the trees where I grew up, like in, again, my native California. um, there are some fragrance notes in here that remind me just of like what the trees smelled like over there. And I actually do detect a slight hint of amber in here. The amber, I think, grounds it and gives it a little slight amount of perfuminess and warmth. But again, you guys, this is mainly for those of you who are more into like earthy fragrances, but you want them to be green, but not herbaceous. It's definitely like tree. Definitely, like I would say, vetiver, cypress. The moss in there, I think, again, is what is lending to maybe it's still a green note, but it's a little bit more earthy, slightly dirty. If anybody gets where I'm going with that, like not like dirt, nasty dust, but they're kind of like soil. I guess that's the way that I always think of moss notes. Like they're this perfect blend of green, but also kind of like wet dirt. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe this fragrance in fullness, I really feel like here, in this video. But if you are near a Yankee candle, or if this is carried in any of the retailers that carry Yankee, go ahead and pick it up and sniff it and see if it would be for you. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So you can see that I am at about the halfway point on this vessel. So far, you guys, the wicks are performing really well for me. They're actually almost a little, I don't want to say too aggressive, but you will see that there is a tiny bit of soot accruing around the edges here. I could definitely see this candle getting a little bit sooty if I let it go completely unchecked. So I would say that you probably want to max out your burn time on these candles at about 3 hours. Maybe just extinguish them and trim the wicks and then go ahead and relight it. The wax so far is not getting sooty, so that is good. It's not altering the fragrance, but I am just noticing that the wicks themselves are burning pretty hot. So again, 2 to 3 hours, I would suggest, if you're enjoying the fragrance enough, dip it, trim the wicks, and then go ahead and relight it. Strength and throw on this candle, I'm going to give it about a low medium. For me, this candle max has been about a 5 in terms of strength and throw. The best place for me to be burning it in my house right now has been in one of the bedrooms on one of the wings of my house here. It makes it sound like I have a mansion, you guys. I do not have a mansion of a home. In fact, down in the description box, I do list the square footage, age, environmental factors, all of those things, so that way you can compare it to your home. But my home was built in 2004. It's about 21 years old. And I do have high vaulted ceilings in the open concept living room, but the bedrooms are more closed concept with about 9 foot high ceilings. So I will say that I have gotten better performance from this candle in the bedrooms. Even in my master bedroom, though, I do find that the fragrance is just not very strong. It's detectable. I can smell it, but it's not going to smack me in the face. And truthfully, that's okay. I don't really need like tree nature scents smacking me in the face. It's nice. It's detectable. It's a good background fragrance or a complementary fragrance to some other candles that I currently have in my collection. And I'll let you guys know what fragrances those are in just a moment. But like I said, I think the best performance has been when I have placed it in like my guest bathroom, or I've placed it in my daughter's bedroom, and it performs really well in there because it's a little bit smaller sized bedroom than my master. So I would say that you're probably going to get the best performance out of this if you have a smaller area to fragrance, but in a large open concept, you're probably going to be disappointed with it. Um, that being said, I do think that this complements a couple of other candles that I am currently burning in my collection. It complements, I'm burning right now Kringle's Garden Fresh, which is a very fresh tomato vine herbaceous type of fragrance. It also pairs nicely with Country Candles Mandarin Petals. Again, two fragrances that kind of have like some green herbaceous notes. I see this pairing nicely with Spanish Moss, which is also from the new Kringle lineup. And I know I'm mentioning a lot of Kringle candles. It's just because those are currently in my burn rotation because I'm trying to get some burns in on them to do some post-burn reviews. So that's what I've been burning it alongside right now. But I feel like any kind of like maybe like earthier fragrances, you're probably going to be pretty happy with this one being a combination. I feel like this one it's not as versatile as say like a vanilla or whatnot, but if with it being the springtime, I feel like this might pair nicely with some florals. You could probably just go a little bit wild there coming up with some combinations, but that is what I have been burning it with. Overall, you guys, where I stand with this candle, I am not going to declutter it. I do see myself finishing this candle just because, like I said, I like the fragrance. Is it repurchase worthy for me? No, I won't repurchase it. It's been a nice candle to try, but I do think that there are just some other candles that I feel like I really like those tree or green fragrances just a little bit more. But for what it is, you guys, it's been pretty nice, and I don't hate it, so it's not going to be going into the declutter pile. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle. What has your burn experience been with it? Have you had this candle in the 3-wick? Do you, if you have, let us know. Does it perform a little bit stronger for you in the 3-wick? Like I said, I did purchase a couple of other candles in this collection in the 3 wicks, and I have found that I've had better strength and throw in that format. But these ones are nice, I feel like, for smaller rooms. So please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.